Book lovers, I would love to say that I'm fashionably late, but the truth is I'm terribly, terribly late for my March wrap-up. There's 12 books in total, so get yourselves comfortable and let's get to it. Book number 1, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. A constantly drunk, pathetic excuse of a person, Rachel, takes the same commuter train every morning to get to work. Every day she passes by rough houses and spies on a young couple who seem to have the perfect life. But then one day she witnesses something shocking. This was dubbed as the next Gone Girl, and I was so excited to read something as twisted as Gillian Flynn's epic page turner. Was it anything like it? No. And frankly, I can understand why people are constantly raving about this book. No one can top Amazing Amy, guys. No one. Book number 2, Essays in Love by Alain de Botton. A novel about two people who meet on a flight from Paris to London and fall in love. The book follows the course of their relationship from beginning to end, and it's part non-fiction, part philosophical, but in a good way. This could easily be the perfect book to give to a friend who just came out of a serious relationship. Book number 3, The Moon is Down by John Steinbeck. This is about the military occupation of a small town in northern Europe by an unnamed invading army. The townspeople are at first confused and docile, but as the time passes, they start planning their revenge. Steinbeck's novella was written in 1942 and is considered to be one of the best works of Allied propaganda during the Second World War. Propaganda or not, check it out because it's a great read. Book number 4, Up at the Villa by W.S.Maugham. The story takes place in the late 30s in Florence, Italy. Mary, a 30-year-old beautiful young widow, is staying at a friend's villa, contemplating whether to accept a marriage proposal from a dear family friend, who happens to be like, I don't know, 30 years her senior. After attending a dinner party, she gets herself in a terrible mess when she decides to let go of her inhibitions and live it up a little. An enjoyable read, but not one of Mom's finest. Book number 5, Sweet Tooth by McEwan. This was bad. This was bad. Set in the early 70s, the story revolves around Serena Froome, who, while studying at Cambridge, begins a love affair with a professor who gets her into MI5 and then dumps her. I have an issue with needy, clingy, emotionally unstable protagonists. They get on my nerves, and this was one of the reasons I didn't enjoy this book. Another reason was that I found the story uninspiring and profoundly boring. Book number 6, Love Letters of Great Men and Women. This one is edited by Ursula Doyle. A fascinating collection of love letters by Lord Byron, Mozart, Anne Boleyn, Napoleon, Edith Wharton, Oscar Wilde, Queen Victoria and Catherine of Aragon, to name a few. Book number 7, Dreams and Shadows by C.Robert Cargill. Ewan was stolen from his family when he was a baby by fairies. Colby found a djinn who granted him a wish that changed his life forever. When the two boys meet, they become entangled in a battle between magical forces. I enjoyed this book so much that I deliberately sabotaged myself from reading it too quickly. A beautifully written, dark, twisted fairy tale. Book number 8, All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This was described as a love story about a girl who learns to live from a boy who wants to die. So, Violet, super popular and extremely beautiful and very, very smart, has trouble dealing with her sister's death. Finch, the school's freak, has serious issues and is constantly flirting with the idea of suicide. They meet on the ledge of their high school bell tower, and instead of taking the plunge, they end up saving each other. The writing's pretty good, but the characters felt underdeveloped. This is supposedly a book about suicide and mental illness, but it felt like it only just scraped the surface. Book number 9, Ariel by Sylvia Plath. The second book of Sylvia Plath's poetry, published 2 years after her death by suicide. I'm not a poetry expert, but I really loved her poems, even though they depressed me so much. Book number 10, In the Light of What We Know by Haider Rahman. An investment banker whose career is collapsing and marriage deteriorating receives a visit from a long-lost close friend who has a story to tell. The writing is truly magnificent, but all those math theorems and science analysis tired me much too soon. If you want to bend your brain while reading a book, be sure to check it out. Book number 11, Penguin's Poems for Love, selected by Barber. A beautiful collection of love poems that will melt your heart. William Shakespeare, Emily Dickinson, Thomas Hardy, Caroline Duffy, John Keats, and many more. Book number 12, The Martian by Weir. One of the most talked about books of 2014. American astronaut Mark Watney is mistaken for dead and left alone on Mars after a mission goes terribly wrong and the rest of the crew evacuate the planet. When NASA discovers he's alive, they try to find ways to bring him back before he runs out of food and dies. Did I love it? No. Did I hate it? No, it was okay. The storyline was good and I liked pretty much everyone besides the main character. I mean, you're stranded on Mars and you're supposed to be an adult who happens to be an acclaimed scientist. So could you please stop talking like a caricature of a teenage girl? Exclamation point! Yay! Exclamation point! That was it. Thank you for watching and see you soon-ish.